Can AI actually teach you Docker? I know Docker, so I am going to let Cloud Code teach it from scratch, explain every concept, and build a real container with us. And I'll tell you if it actually holds up. By the end, we have got a real app running inside a container. So let's go. This is my current application in Node.js. You can see this is index.js file, and this is the package.js and .json file. And I have opened Cloud Code extension in this VS Code. Now let's ask it about what the Docker is. So I will type this prompt. Okay, I have written my prompt where I'm asking it to explain Docker to me like I have never used it. What's the difference between an image, a container, and a Docker file? Keep it short and plain. Let's hit submit. We got the response. Here it is saying that Docker lets you package an app with everything it needs to run: code, libraries, system tools, so it behaves the same on your laptop, a teammate's machine, or a server. No more works on my machine. Here are three pieces using cooking analogy. We have three headings here: Docker file, image, and containers. So let's read them one by one. So Docker file, the recipe, a text file with step-by-step instruction. Start from this base, copy in my code, install these dependencies, run this command. It's how you describe what you want to build. Then we have image. This is the prepared meal kit. When you build a Docker file, you get an image, a frozen, ready to go snapshot of your app and its environment. It doesn't run on its own. It just sits there, reusable. You can share it, store it, and start many copies from it. Then we have the term container. It's like the meal actually being cooked and served. A running instance of an image. This is the live thing doing work. You can start and delete containers freely and run several from the same image at once. Each one is isolated from the others and from your machine. And this is the flow. This is how it works. You create a Docker file, that is your recipe. You build the image, that is the snapshot. Then you run the container, that is the live application. Here are quick rules of thumb, which are: one Docker file builds one image. One image can launch many containers. If you edit a Docker file, you need to rebuild the image. And if you want a fresh running copy, you just need to start a new container. Here it is saying, I noticed you have index.js open in a folder called Docker demo. Happy to help you write an actual Docker file for it if you want to see this in practice. So that is nice. It is being proactive to help me to create a Docker file. Let me write my next prompt here. So I have written that says, here is my Node application. Write Docker file for it and explain each line as you go. Let's hit submit button. Okay, now it is looking at my app first. It has observed my index.js file and package.json file. All right. It just created the Docker file. You can see on the left side, and it is loaded with a lot of comments for our education purpose. And on the right side in this chat, it has explained every single line, that what every line is doing. So let's go through this explanation one by one. So here it is saying, I also created a Docker file, walking through it block by block. So first of all, we have this line from node colon 20 dash slim. So we have two columns here, what it does and why it matters. This line picks a base image with node 20 plus npm pre-installed. So you don't have to install Node.js or npm yourself. So you just build on top of this instead of installing Node yourself. And dash slim keeps the image small. Then we have the second line, that is work dir, our working directory, and it says /app here. So it sets the /app as the working directory inside the image, and it matters because all following commands run here. Keeps things tidy versus dumping files at the root. So this is with this approach, we just organize all of our code within a specific folder. Otherwise, it will be dumping your files in the root directory. Then we have the line copy package.json package-lock.json star space dot slash. So this basically copies just the dependency manifests first, and it matters because it enables layer caching. That is the key trick below. And then we have the run command where we are running the npm install dash dash omit is equal to dev. So this installs your dependencies like express.js or any other dependencies that are in our package.json. And the dash dash omit dev basically skips dev only packages. You don't need them at the runtime because we need them only while we are doing the development. Then we have the copy command. We have copy space dot space dot. This basically copies the rest of your code in the working directory, and it matters because it is done after install, so editing index.js doesn't bust the dependencies cache. And then we have the expose 3000. Here we are basically documenting the port. It is informational only. It does not open the port by itself. Then finally we have this line cmd, our command, and within this we are writing the command npm start. So this is the command that run when a container launches, and if container is launched, it will run this command. And if this command is executed, then in the package.json you see that we have this script start that will basically run the node index.js command. About the caching trick, the most important idea, Docker builds in layers and caches each one. Because dependencies are copied and installed before your source code, so changing index.js file only reruns the last two cheap steps, not the slow npm install. If you copied everything first, every code edit would reinstall Express from scratch. One thing worth adding, docker ignore file. Currently didn't add the docker ignore file, but it says without it, the copy dot command would copy your local node modules folder into the image, overwriting the clean install and bloating the image. And here it is asking, want me to create this? It will create the node modules folder. If I confirm, it will add the, and here it is showing us how to build and run the container. To build a Docker image named Docker demo from Docker file in the current directory, we just need to run this command, docker build -t docker-demo space dot. Then to run a container, mapping your machine's port 3000 with the container's port 3000, you just need to run this command, docker run -p 3000:3000 docker demo. And here is the explanation. The -p 3000:3000 is what actually makes the app reachable at this URL. In the Docker file, the expose alone doesn't do that. This URL should return your running inside Docker message that we have added here. So this is the endpoint /API/health that just returns the running inside Docker. Now it is asking me if I want to add the Docker ignore file too, and it is definitely recommended. So let's confirm that. Yes, please create that file. Alright, the file is created. Let's look into that. It has all these names, node modules, npm-debug.log, docker file, and .docker ignore. And here is the explanation. Node modules, this is the important one because it stops your local install from being copied in. So in the Docker file, we have a command run npm install. So because of this docker ignore file, npm install produces a clean container correct install. Some packages compile differently per OS. And npm debug.log, this is the junk log files, no reason to ship them. Currently we don't have it, but if it is created because of npm, it will be skipped. Then we added docker file and .docker ignore. These are build instructions, not part of your running application, so no need inside the image. It works like a .git ignore, but it controls what copy dot is allowed to pull into the image. Now you are all set, so we are ready to use it. So let's build the application as it is suggesting. So I will just copy the command and open the terminal, and let's paste the command and hit enter. It says that cannot connect to the Docker daemon because Docker is not running yet. So let's start the Docker first. So I'm gonna open the Docker application. All right, the Docker desktop is started. Let me go back to the terminal and run the same command again. And this time it is working. It is asking for permissions, so just allow it. And now it is downloading the base image from Docker Hub and downloading all of the layers which are required. And now you see that it is on step number 2, working directory, and it copied the package.json and it ran the npm install command. Now it is copying the source code into the working directory here, and it's done. You see that the process is completed. Now let's look at the next command, that is docker run dash. Go back to the terminal and let's paste and hit enter. And the container is started. You see that it is saying the app is listening on port 3000. So browser and type localhost 3000 and look at this welcome message, hello from inside a Docker container. I asked Docker in 10 minutes, and let me show you from where it is coming. So in the index.js file, we have this line app use express.static, and we are exposing the public folder. So whenever you just open the root, our main URL of this application, then it will load the index.html, and within that HTML we have added everything. The text that you can see here is coming from this file. Also, if you add /API/health, you will again see the message status is okay and running inside the Docker. That's great. Now let's move one level up. So here is my prompt where I'm saying now add a Postgres database with Docker Compose and explain what Compose is and why I'd use it. So let's hit submit and let's see what happens. All right, so Docker Compose.yml is created. You see that it is well commented, and can read those comments as well too. And let's go through this explanation. So let's quickly read through this detail that it has provided about what Docker Compose is. So it says, so far you have been running one container by hand with this command. That's fine for a single container, but real apps usually need several containers working together. Here, your Node application plus Postgres database, managing those separately means juggling multiple Docker run commands, remembering port flags, environment variables, startup order, and a shared network so they can talk to each other. Compose lets you declare all of that in one file, dockercompose.yml file, and run the whole stack with a single command. Think of it as the Docker file describes one image, Compose describes how multiple containers run together. So why you'd use it? One command brings everything up and down. Like you just run the command docker compose up or docker compose down. Second reason to use it, build in networking. Containers reach each other by service name. So your app connects to DB. You just need to refer the name DB, not an IP address. Then third reason is config lives in version control. Ports, environment variables, volumes are all written down, not typed from memory. Fourth reason is reproducible. Our teammate clones the repository and gets the identical setup. So let me create the file. Now it just created the file here as you see on the left side. And here are the details about everything. So if you look at this Docker Compose file, let me collapse everything. We have two sections, services and volumes. And there is only one volume that is named PG data, that is Postgres data. And in the services, we have total two services. One is app and second one is DB. And this is how app look like. And this is how the DB service look like. In these two services, so this app is basically our Express application. And then we have the build that tells Compose to build it from your existing Docker file. Then we have ports section. So same port mapping as before, now with the env variables, including the database URL. Then we have the second service, DB, that is a Postgres. And here we are using the image Postgres 16 that is coming from the Docker Hub, that pulls a ready-made image from the Docker Hub, so no Docker file needed at all. Now the key ideas. Service names are host names. Notice database URL that is being used here. Look at this. Here, instead of using the IP address, it is using the service name. This is literally the service name. So Compose puts both containers on a shared network, so app reaches Postgres at DB with no IP addresses. Then we have the volumes at the end, PG data. Containers are disposable. Their internal file system is wiped when removed. A named volume stores the actual database file separately, so your data survives, restarts, and Docker Compose down. Without it, you'd lose the database every time. And then we have depends on, that starts with DB before the application. So one caveat worth knowing, it waits for the container to start, not for the Postgres to finish initialization and be ready for queries. For production, you'd add a health check or retry logic in the application. And this is how you can run it. We just need to run this command, docker compose up. If you do that, it will build the image and start both containers. If you add -d, then it will run the containers in the background. It will make your terminal free and you can do other stuff in your terminal. If you run the docker compose down, it will stop and remove them, but volume data is kept and stay preserved. If you run the command docker compose down -v, then it will also delete the volume, and in this case it will wipes the database as well. There is another honest caveat that your index.js doesn't actually connect to Postgres yet. That is true because we just created a simple index.js file. So right now the database just runs alongside the application unused. The compose setup and database URL already are ready for it. And now it is asking me, want me to add the PG library and small query, for example, /API /dbHealth route that pings Postgres to prove the connection works, or leave the app as it is and just have the database available. So these are the two options, and it is suggesting the option 1. It makes the demo actually show the two containers talking to each other, which is the whole point of adding Docker Compose. So let's do that. Yes, please apply the option 1. So it says I'll add the PG library wire up a connection. So it went to the package.json and it added some dependencies, PG. And in the index.js file, it added the pool from PG library. And now it is creating for the database here. And it's done. It says the only diagnostic is a harmless style hint. So it's done. Your app uses require, which is consistent through, so no action needed. And in the package.json, the PG was added. In the index.js, 2 additions, and this new endpoint was added, /API /db-health. And let me show you here. It is using the SQL query to test the database. So it is using pool.query and select now function as now, and it is returning the result from the SQL query. Now it's time to test it. So let's hit the Ctrl+C to stop the existing container. And now I will run this command, docker compose up. It will use the docker compose file that we just created within this folder. Now it is pulling the image from Docker Hub. All of the layers are being downloaded. Once it is done, it will follow every line one by one. It will activate every service one by one. And once all of the services are active and running, we will be able to test it. We got some error. It is saying that gracefully stopping. Press Ctrl+C again to force. Error response from daemon driver failed. Programming external connectivity on endpoint Docker demo app. Bind for port 3000 failed, port is already allocated. So port was already being used. So what I will do is that I will change the port. So instead of the port 3000, I will change it to the 4000 here as well. And let me look at the Docker. Let's change here as well. And let me look at the index.js. Let's change it here as well to port 4000. Now we are using only the port 4000. So let's try it again. This time it will be very fast because the layers are already downloaded and we have the cache. So hopefully it will be done really quick. Now you see that both services are created and up and running. You see app and DB. So just to verify, let's open this endpoint in the browser to see if we get the response of the SQL query. So I will just replace this with this one, and it says it doesn't exist. Why is that? Oh, because we are looking at the wrong port. Let me change from 3000 to the 4000, and this time look at this, we got the response that is correct. It is getting the date and time from our database now function that you can see here. So that's mean our database is working and you can now utilize it to create your application. So I think that's all. Before we wrap up, let me just add one last prompt here. So here I am saying, give me the 5 Docker commands I'll use every day. Hit enter. Okay, so it says, here are the 5 you'll reach for constantly. I have used port 4000 in the examples. So first one is Docker Compose Up that starts your whole stack. There are some flags that you can use along with it. Docker Compose Up just run in the foreground, logs streams in your terminal, but Docker Compose Up -d that runs in detached mode. That means it runs in the background. So let me show you that as well. So in the terminal, currently it is running in the foreground. So I will just press Ctrl C to all of the services from Docker Compose. And now I will run this Docker Compose Up -d. This time you will notice that now my terminal is free. I can do anything. It will not cause any trouble. And next, you can also pass the flag --build. If you pass that, then it will rebuild the images first after code or dependency changes. And then we have the Docker Compose down command, and that also comes with some flags. So you can either run it without any flag. If you do that, it will stop and remove the containers and your PG data volume survives. If you run -v, it will delete the database as well. You can see that all of the services are stopped and containers were removed, but our database is still there. It is preserved somewhere in the volumes. And we have Docker PS command. So we use this command to see what's running. If you run Docker PS, it will return currently running containers. If you run Docker PS -a, it returns the stopped containers too. So let me run the Docker PS first. Currently it says that there is one container that is running. And if I run Docker PS -a, hit enter. And now you see there are many more containers that were stopped earlier. You can see them as well. Status is exited. Then we have Docker Compose logs command. We use that to read the output. Docker Compose logs, if you pass -f flag, then it will follow all the services logs live. So for example, if a new log appears, it will be appeared in the real time in your terminal. You don't have to stop and start again. You don't have to rerun the same command to see the latest logs. So it will streaming the latest logs in real time. So let me show you that thing as well. So let me restart the Docker Compose services. And now as it is running, I will copy this command, Docker Compose logs -f, and it is now showing the logs that are coming from those containers. And if any new log appears, that will be added here in this stream in real time. Sometime you might have a lot of services running in your Docker Compose and you would like to watch the logs from only specific service. Then you can pass the name of that service just to watch the logs only from that specific application. So for that, just copy that stop the logs and let's run the same command again. But this time we are passing the name of the Docker Compose service. So this is the same name that we have added here. So if you change this name, then you have to use the exactly same name, whatever you have added in your Docker Compose. So let's try that. And it is now showing the logs coming from the app service only. After that, there is another interesting command, Docker Compose execute exec. So it basically open a shell inside a running container. So for example, we have two options here. You can run Docker Compose exec app. Here you have to use the exactly same name as your service names in your Docker Compose and then pass the sh. So if you run this command, then it will shell into the app container. And if you use the database service name, then you can access the PSQL command line CLI to open PSQL in the Postgres container. So let's try this one first. Let me press Ctrl C and run this command, Docker Compose exec app sh, hit enter. And now I am inside my app container. You can now run any command that you can run in shell. You see that I typed ls and here we have all of the files that are available within that container. Let me type exit, I guess. Yes, now I'm outside of that container. Now let's run the last command, that is this one. So open the terminal, run the command Docker Compose exec db psql -u demo -d demo. Hit enter and you see that I'm inside that. So it is working. So I guess from here I can interact with the Postgres SQL that is running in my container. And here are some mental models. Up, down, control the stack. PS logs tell you what's happening and exec gets you inside to investigate. One bonus worth knowing is that Docker Compose PS versus plain Docker PS scopes the list to just this project's container. Handy once you have several projects running. So I think that's all what I wanted to show you in this video. I thought I could show you everything in 10 minutes, but I think it took a lot more than 10 minutes. So that's it. 0 to running containers in about 30 minutes, and Claude explained every single step as it went. I hope that this video provided you some value. If so, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to get notified for my upcoming videos. Also, please like and share this video. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.